What's going on, YouTube? Check it out. Welcome back to the channel. What do we got in the bench today, guys? So we got the Arma Mojave Forest, the sexiest Arma RC that Arma has ever released, in my opinion. This thing is just absolutely stunning. Anyhow, we also have some, we also have some upgrades for it. And I've already taken it apart a little bit, so that's why the center differential is out. This thing is pretty beefy. It's the first time I see it in person, and I love that it's inside an aluminum or steel, I think it's aluminum case. You can see the gasket right there. I know you guys probably can't see it. There you go. Anyways, this thing is pretty beefy. I like what I'm seeing. And then we have a center drive shaft, and we have a differential case slash motor mount. That's the bearing. Fits nice and snug in there. Whoop. I guess not that snug. Anyways, it's a pretty good fit. It's not loose. You know what I mean? It's loose enough for it to fall out, although it doesn't fall out that easily. I don't know why it fell out on me just now. Anyhow, and then the other side goes there. And boom. So that goes like that. And then the motor gets bolted there. You got your slots to slide the motor left and right for bigger pinions. So I do like what I'm seeing. This is an Amazon special case. I do not remember the exact price, but I will put it up on the screen when I'm editing for you guys. And also, I don't remember the price of this. I think this was like somewhere between $16 and $20 though, if I'm being honest. There was like different brands, so they were like different pricing. And then we have these gorgeous GPM 7075 and steel shocks. These things are absolutely beefy, guys. The shock shaft, which I measured, is 8 millimeters. I've never seen a shock shaft that big. Let me rephrase that. I've never seen a shock shaft 8 millimeters on this scale RC car. Only on the 1/5 scales, like the Arma, the Arma Creighton 8S and the Outcast 8S. I've seen them on those RCs, but never for this scale RC, which is a 1/8 scale RC. But anyhow, we're gonna get this upgrade video started. So if that's something that you are into and you want to see, stick around. I'm gonna be putting this drive shaft in, installing the motor plate and center diff housing, as well as these beautiful GPM shocks. I did have RC all-wheel drive CVDs. However, I had to send them back because they were missing parts when I received them. So I might get the same one. Hopefully I get the full kit this time, or I might go with the GPM CVDs down the road. But any case, let's get this party started. So let's take this body off, set it aside. And like I said, I already started taking it apart. Here's the motor. Tiny little thing, 2400 kV. Another upgrade I might do is I might change the motor in ESC down the road. I might put a XC Tech 4S ESC or maybe a 6S ESC. Here's the stock differential case and motor plate. Brand new. Never ran. I wonder why it has these little grommets. Is it to adjust the motor? So you can mess with your pinion? Maybe that's what it is, because it has one on top and one on the bottom. But yep, there's the stock drive shaft, and this is the top brace. It has this little rubber bushing here. So when the chassis flexes, you have a little bit of give. Okay. Let's put this away. What's going on upstairs? And I already put the bearing on the shaft. This is the stock bearing. But let's see. So let's start with putting together the transmission housing. Just gonna need a little bit of Loctite. This is the hardware bag it came with, but I'm not sure that everything is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna try to use the stock screws as long as they don't bottom out. A little bit of Loctite. Oh, you know what? I have to put the motor on there first. You see, I've never worked on these RCs. So this is new to me. Looks like you can go really big on the pinion. Look at all that space if you slide the motor all the way over. But I don't think this tiny little 4S ESC would be able to handle a really big pinion. That's why down the road I plan on upgrading the motor and ESC, or maybe just the ESC, and keeping the motor the same until it gives out. See how far we can push this little motor. Okay. Nope, too tight. Let's try that. Of course, I won't be able to tell until I put the other half on. Let's see. You can't really see the pinion. You can see, I can slide the wrench in there and get the screws, but I can't see the pinion meshing with the anyways, I gotta go pick up my daughter, so let me pause the video and then we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back. I just had to go grab my daughter and bring her to the house so she can have a play date with my fiance's daughter. So now we're just adjusting the mesh on the motor plate. What do you want, Penny? So I think that sounds pretty good. So let's tighten that. Sometimes when you tighten these, the motor shifts. There we go. Let's get the other half on. And let's get the screws in. Let's see if... So it came with hardware, but I kind of want to use the stock hardware. Just making sure that it actually goes through and it doesn't bottom out. It looks like it doesn't. Perfect. So the also the stock housing has 5 screws that hold these two halves together, and this one only has 3. Which is fine because, you know, this is sturdier because it's aluminum, so you don't need as many points of contact to keep it nice and closed, because it's not gonna flex like plastic does. All right. Hope that's good. Sounds good. I don't like to I could bring it in closer, but I really don't like to leave the pinion like too close, because sometimes they're not perfectly made. And sometimes you'll have spots that bind and spots that don't. So that's why. But if it's too loose, when we test it, we'll just have to take it apart again and tighten it a little bit. But I think it'll be fine. Come on. There we go. You have to push it in. So let's get it attached from the bottom. So for the bottom, so these are these here are the screws, the stock ones. These are the ones that came with the case. I think I'm gonna go with the stock ones because they're longer. As long as they thread through and they don't bottom out, because longer is always better. You get more meat in there. Yeah, they don't bottom out at all. Sometimes it's not always ideal to use the hardware that comes with these Amazon special upgrades. It's best to use the stock hardware as long as it doesn't bottom out and it threads just as it should. You know, the threads line up. All right, so those are those two, and then I took these off thinking I needed to, but I didn't. So let's get these back in here. Looks like those hold the top of the bulkhead. Is that better? Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, these little, oh man. See, I already messed up. So this goes here. But this one goes down there. Like that. So I have to take it off again. Man. Oh. There we go. Now we put this carbon fiber plate right here, and that covers the slots to the motor mount screws. And it looks like it's a 2mm tiny little thing. I gotta get so I'm using, for the camera, I'm using the DJI Osmo Action 6, and they have a I think it's called a focal lens. It's some lens that, am I using the right one? Let me check. Nope. So these are not it. It's these even smaller ones that use a 1.5. Anyways, it's a lens that you can attach to the camera. Nope, that's not it either. What the heck? Oh, man. Well, that's not it, and I don't know what is. I definitely think they made a mistake here. If I can't get this to... Yeah. I can't get this thing to screw in there. Okay. Well then. So maybe these go here. Alright guys, I'm gonna pause the video here, try to figure out why none of these screws that came in the hardware bag work. Looks like the holes are too big for these tiny little things and too small for these 1.5, and these are 2mm. So not sure what's up with that. Anyways, let me pause the video and figure out a solution here. Alright guys, so lucky for me, I keep every single extra screw. I found these I don't know, well, I know they're screws, but I don't know the exact name. They're not flat. They have a cap head, I think it's called. Yeah. So cap head, 2mm, that threaded perfectly into those holes. So that plate is now on, the carbon fiber plate. So heads up on this Amazon special case. This one had the wrong screws for this specific plate here. Other than that, it looks really well made. this case on. Put the screws back. And it looks like it needs to be pushed in more. Okay. All right. Let's just torque these. Okay, that's that on this side. We just gotta get this little contraption in because it has a nut. Let me see if I can get the drive shaft in with that in there. There we go. It looks like I could. But now I'm not going to be able to hold the nut on the other side. Let me see. There we go. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And these shocks are so loose. I know it's a short course truck, so the shocks are supposed to be like that. But I'm going to go with these. These are the ones that go on the top. I can never think of the name of the screws. You got button head, you got cap head, and then you have these that are flat. Which I don't know the name. Okay. There we go. It does that. Beautiful. Look at that. Very nice. All right, now we do the shocks. So let me get situated, put this away, and then we'll get started on the shocks. Okay, so to do the shocks, I'm gonna remove the wheels. I don't really like that wrench that comes with this RC. Front, rear. I know they're all the same, but I'm weird like that. If they came off the front, they're going back on the front. If they came off the rear, they're going back on the rear. And I also got upgraded fans coming for the ESC motor. Keep it nice and happy. Okay. Let's see. I could probably use this. I got a bunch of different electric screwdrivers. There's a very long screw. Now the top. And they look like they are the same size. And voila. That's one shock removed. Just want to take a look at it. I hate that they give you all these spacers. I wish they would have just came with threaded collars, because I do really like these anodized red shocks. Well, you know what, guys? I never put oil in these GPM shocks. This is really, feels like there's barely any oil in this one. So these are the fronts. I mean, there's oil in there from factory, I believe. I wonder if I could use the plastic perch with these, just because it has this little shock protector thingamajig. But it looks like I'm not going to be able to, because it doesn't, because the shock shaft is so much thicker. without modification. I was able to get it in the shock shaft, but I can't get it on the shock rod end. Let's take it back out. Anyways, these perches are screwed on. And before I put it together, let me show you the difference in the shock shafts. You see that? Look how much thicker that GPM one is. That's wild. I've just never seen that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah.
They're about to eat. I'm gonna set them up at the table. When they're done, you're probably gonna have to come up and take over.
What do you mean take over?
Like clear the dishes, make sure they wash their hands.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll come up in 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down to eat now.
All right, thanks. Anyways, that was my pregnant fiance telling me that the girls are eating. So I'm gonna have to come upstairs and take over in a minute, just 'cause she's got to jump on her class. She's going to school for her master's. This is her last year, so she's definitely a smart cookie. All right. So I was saying these GPM shocks come with extra springs that are a lot stiffer than the ones on there now. The ones on there now mimic the spring tension of the stock ones. So I'm going to start with those. Or rather these, I mean. And then if I don't like the way it feels, I'll put the stiffer springs on there and then possibly mess around with the shock oils and whatnot. I do plan on jumping this RC, so which is why I'm upgrading the shocks from the get-go. Really wish these were threaded. Could use them for another build down the road. Let me make sure these have the same tension on them. Okay. And I just gotta say, guys, I absolutely think this RC is one of the sexiest RC that Arma has ever released. The body, the detail on the body and the colors and everything, it looks absolutely sick to me. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. Do you think this is the sexiest RC Arma has ever released? Look at that. Nice. I feel like there's a lot more travel. This feels like it's missing oil. Anyways, we'll keep those, save them. Maybe we can use them on a future build. We'll start with the left side. This little thing, I got it on Amazon. It's the Fantic. I think it's called the Fantic S Pro 2. And it has this torque setting at the top here. You can turn. This light tells you what torque it's at. See, it goes up and down, the light as I turn it. So the manual says for RC cars to keep it on 1 or 0. So you don't like strip out your plastics. But I like that it's semi-quiet, or at least quieter than the one I was just using, the green one. And it's a tad bit quicker at removing screws than this one. See how loud that is compared to that? So I got that one, I got this one. This is the, I got this on I'm lying. I got this at Home Depot or Lowe's, I think. This is a Skill. This one doesn't have torque settings or anything, but it has this swiveling head and a light. I use that one from time to time. This is 4 volts. That's a Dremel. And I have one more Skill one that's really, really old that's still working just fine. Not sure where it is. Probably in the toolbox. Where did I? Oh. Just knocking off a little debris that's on there. Okay. Let's get that installed. I should probably go check on the girl soon. Anyways, I was saying the camera that I'm using, DJI Action 6, has they have a lens that you can attach to it so that you can focus better, or it can focus better, I think, at close range, because as it sits without that lens, it doesn't really focus when I come in like this. Like if I want to show you like detail up close, you can see those letters are kind of like smudged. So with that lens, I can focus on those small details up close. And that's why, let me fix this. That's why I kind of want to get the lens, but I think the lens is like $150 or $200. I can't remember exactly, but it's not cheap. Other than that, I think it's a great camera. I also have the Action 5 over there. This is the Action 5 Pro. It's a pretty neat little camera. Sitting on this small rig aluminum case. Love both of these. I think they both shoot great video. And the Action 6, the one I'm using now, actually shoots in 8K. Although I don't really shoot in 8K, only because the file size is really big. And as you can see, I make pretty long videos. And it would probably take me forever to upload it or edit it. So I stay with 4K, 30 frames per second, unless I'm doing slow motion specific. Then I use 120 frames per second. But like I was saying, I think they shoot really good video. What do you guys think about the video quality of my videos lately? Because before that, about, I don't know, let's say before November of last year, I think I was using my iPhone, which there's nothing wrong with the iPhone. It's just, it's not a small package like these cameras. You can just mount them on your head and they don't bother you that much. It's like an iPhone 16 Pro, if you mount that on your head, you know it's there because they're heavy. You hear that clicking? That's the that torque setting. Saves your plastics. So I like that setting on this little electric hex driver, screwdriver. But yeah, guys, so leave it in the comments. What do you guys think about the video quality? And also leave in the comments what do you guys think about the videos in general. Like, is there something that you guys would like to see me do different? I guess is what I'm asking. Or should I just keep doing what I've been doing? Okay, so those are all the shocks mounted, and it looks Epic. Yeah, buddy. Alright, well, I'm gonna go check on the girls real quick, and then we'll be right back and finish up the video, guys. Stay tuned. Alright, guys, we are back. Let's wrap this video up. So, wheels and tires. I like how what am I trying to say? These wheel nuts look thicker than the stock black ones that come on your 6S Armas, or maybe I think they look thicker because they're red. I don't know. They look nice though. And the hexes are nice too, nice and thick hexes, like this part right here where the wheel actually sits. And I also want to try these. I want to try these Badlands. I think that would look sick, but I gotta get or put. I probably have it. I gotta put the adapter that has a 0 offset, so the wheel sits inside more. You know, like these do, so that they still fall underneath the body when the suspension compresses. So I gotta look for that because they're wider. They're wider than your stock ones. They're almost like the same height, but they're definitely wider. So because they're wider, you need that hex adapter that brings the wheel in a little bit more. I think with that adapter, I'll be able to run those wheels without having to modify the body. At least that's what I hope. So we'll see. So stay tuned if you want to see me put these wheels on the Mojave. And also, guys, stay tuned for the running video or the break-in video of the Arma Mojave 4S. That'll be coming to the channel soon as this weather permits. As soon as all this snow melts and we got a nice, beautiful sunny day out, we're gonna take out a few of our new builds and take them for a quick bashing. We'll bring the ramp out. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos, guys. But yeah, I'm just getting this brace back in. Don't know why it's so hard. There we go. Of course, it's 2.5. It's an interesting design with the locking nut from the top. Okay, and we're also going to have more upgrades coming. For example, the steering belt crank, the servo, the turnbuckles and camber links, and maybe the hubs. See, maybe the caster blocks, the hubs, and the rear bearing carriers. So you're definitely gonna want to subscribe so you don't miss that. Okay. these springs are really soft. Oh, look at that. This is sitting almost. Sitting almost. Yeah. So that's not good because these are already cranked down all the way. So I definitely need the harder springs. Oh, you know what? This side isn't. That's probably why. Come on. Okay, that's a little bit better. Whatever, worst case scenario, we'll just put the stiffer springs on there. It's a little bit better. All right, let's get the body on and wrap this up. Okay. There it is, guys. The MOJAVE with the Amazon and GPM upgrades. What do you guys think? I think she looks absolutely epic. Yes, sir. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thanks for sticking with me. If you're still here, I appreciate you and you're awesome. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in and checking out my channel. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and ring that like button so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks again. Dos RC out. Peace.